Welcome to the Brunswick Beat,
Brunswick County's only television news show, brought to you by the Brunswick Beacon. I'm Rachel Johnson.
And I'm Caroline Curran. 2 people are recovering and 1 person is in custody after a weekend shooting in Supply. 29-year-old Jose Aguirre and 23-year-old Francesca Rodriguez were both shot early on Sunday, May 20th. Jonathan Cortez Molina has been arrested for the shooting. Molina, 28, of Charlotte, has been charged with discharging a weapon into an occupied dwelling. He was taken to the Brunswick County Detention Center, where he's been placed under a $150,000 secured bond.
A Myrtle Beach man has been arrested for possessing more than 3,400 pieces of drug paraphernalia. Brunswick County drug agents arrested Mark Seth Sokloff, 59, on May 18th after a traffic stop on US 17 near Thomasboro Road. During a search of Sokloff's vehicle, agents seized more than 400 grams of synthetic marijuana, commonly known as spice. Agents also seized more than 3,400 pieces of drug paraphernalia, including smoking pipes, bongs, grinders, packaging material, and digital scales.
Since the program began back in 2009, 168 people have gone through mental health treatment court, but not everyone has graduated. Only 21 people have successfully completed the program, 5 of whom graduated last Thursday, May 17th. Joseph Sullivan, Kevin Schumacher, Andrea Brown, Shane Ellis, and Chad Cox received their diplomas last week during a special session of Superior Court. A 6th graduate, Stephen Gibson, has completed the program, and he'll receive his diploma at the next graduation ceremony.
If all goes according to what's proposed, the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office may soon be the new overseer of the Brunswick County Animal Shelter. Initial approval came at a Brunswick County Environmental Health Board meeting May 14th. It will now be up to Brunswick County Commissioners to give ultimate approval at their upcoming meeting on June 4th. If approved, Animal Services will no longer be under the direction of the Brunswick County Board of Health, but will become part of the Sheriff's Office, and its name will change to Sheriff's Animal Protective Services, effective July 1st. Animal Services will also take on a new look, as existing shelter employees will wear uniforms similar to those of Brunswick County K-9 deputies. Shelter vehicles will have similar marks as well. First Sergeant Tommy Tolley, former overseer of the Sheriff's Office K-9 program, said the goal is to increase manpower at the shelter in the midst of budgets that have not increased.
Brunswick County Manager Marty Lawing has recommended a county budget with no tax increase for the upcoming fiscal year. At Monday night's County Commissioners meeting, Lawing made his annual budget presentation, proposing a $196.2 million county budget. He also proposed a 44.25-cent property tax rate. The tax rate remains the same as the current fiscal year's rate. The $196 million budget is 2.9% more than the current year budget of $190.6 million.
Brunswick County Commissioners also approved a contract to outsource its food services and cafeteria for an estimated savings of more than $873,000 in the first year. Commissioners voted 4 votes to 1, with Commissioner Charles Warren dissenting, to approve a contract with Aramark to take over the entire food services operation at the county, which includes retail cafeteria sales, inmate meals, and meals for Brunswick Senior Resources. Assistant County Manager Steve Stone said the first year of the 5-year contract would have a fixed cost, with subsequent years increasing as recommended by one of 2 federally published standards based on commodities prices or consumer price index.
March is an eventful month for U.S. Army Specialist Ben McCune. This past March, his wife gave birth to their first child. The previous March, he and his wife Chelsea were married. The March before that, he broke his back when the MATV armored truck he was in struck a 1,300-pound improvised explosive device while en route to pick up a sergeant from another compound while serving in the Arghandab River Valley of Afghanistan. Since that day, March 22, 2010, McCune has suffered a broken back, post-traumatic stress disorder, and frustration with the Veteran Affairs system he feels shuffled him through rather than really treating him. When he returned stateside from Afghanistan, he abused alcohol and his prescription medication for his injuries. Now married and a father to a son named after a fallen squad member, McCune, a 2007 West Brunswick High School graduate, says he's in a different place. You can read more about McCune's story in this week's Beacon.
Some of the newspaper clippings have yellowed, spread out on the dining room table at Tammy Coley's home on Goose Creek Road. A plastic box is filled with letters her late brother Kenneth Gore regularly sent home before he was killed at age 18 in Vietnam. Next to the letters, a cigar box contains lots of old photos of her brother and the life he had in Brunswick County before he decided to join the Army. To this day, 45 years after Kenneth's death, Coley remembers her older brother. Gore was killed June 3, 1967, while manning the perimeter of an ambush site engaged in a hostile fight. Gore had completed half of his 13-month assignment to Vietnam. Coley was only 7 when her brother was killed. To this day, she and her 3 sisters and 2 brothers continue to pay tribute to his memory.
If you've ever wondered what's inside the gated town of St. James, this weekend is an opportunity to find out. Real estate sales are up this year in St. James, and the sales and marketing team wants to open the gates to the public to show what the town has to offer. From 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. Saturday, May 26th, and again from noon to 5 on Sunday, May 27th, visitors are invited to tour 32 open homes and condominiums during the open house weekend. It's free and the public is welcome. While the open house is free and open to the public, event organizers prefer that people pre-register. To do so, visit www.stjamesplantation.com, or you can pre-register there or for more information. On the day of the event, visitors are asked to visit the sales center at 4006 St. James Drive Southeast, which is just off NC 211, where you'll receive a pass and a map for the open house tour.
Memorial Day weekend will be observed in style in Brunswick County, starting with events launching this Friday and continuing into the weekend. A number of Memorial Day services are planned Monday, including 2 in Calabash, 1 Monday evening in Charlotte, and a news service Monday afternoon in Sunset Beach. There are also concerts Friday evening and Sunday in Charlotte, Ocean Isle Beach, and Holden Beach. For a detailed listing and information, check out this week's edition of the Brunswick Beacon, available on newsstands now. Also in this week's Beacon is the Memorial Day edition of Island Living.
Welcome to the Beacon Sports Report. I'm Sarah Bauer. In West Brunswick High School baseball action, the Trojans were down 4-0 in the bottom of the 7th inning. West Brunswick took advantage of the one-out infield error to rally for 5 runs and stun Southern Wayne by winning the game 5-4 on May 15th. The win came in the second round of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Class 3A state baseball playoffs. The Trojans advanced to the sectional by beating Wilson Hunt 7-0 on Friday. The North Brunswick baseball team beat North Pitt 14-3 in 5 innings in the third round of the playoffs action. South Brunswick had 3 runner-up finishes last Friday in the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Class 3A state track and field meet at North Carolina A&T University. Senior Lexus Hankins was second in the discus throw. Sophomore Colin Miner was second in the shot put, and junior Carmen Hilliard was second in the 1,600-meter run. Hilliard's race was one of the most exciting of the meet. Hilliard and Fikes Jensen Jones had the 2 best times entering the meet. No one else in the 1,600 field was within 10 seconds of their times, and these 2 had raced against each other in the state meet last year. Hilliard placed third and Jones was second. The 2 ran nearly stride for stride from the start, and Jones won by 0.05 seconds. The next best time was more than 7 seconds away. The boys' athletic program at Charlotte Middle School made school history this year by clinching 5 county championships. Teams dominated the competition in football, basketball, baseball, track, and golf. 8th grade students who were members of the winning teams admit their involvement in athletics helped them keep their priorities straight. They know that to be an athlete at Charlotte Middle, they have to have good grades. To help keep everything in check, students said that the school offered tutoring and their teachers always went the extra mile. Being members of the teams that helped set a new school record for the number of championships in one school year is something that the students will never forget. Read all these stories and see more great photos in this week's sports section of the Beacon.
How are you today?
Hi, Laura. Good to see you.
Good to see you as always. And who is our friend here today?
This is Winnie. She's a 3-year-old spayed female, front declawed. She's beautiful if she'll stand up for you, spotted light gray. And then she has this bright silver undercoat that's really gorgeous.
She's
She
really
looks all
pretty.
white when the wind blows.
And she's such a sweet girl.
She has bright green eyes. And she's just loved
Aww.
to be scratched.
Yes,
and
she
played
does. What a good girl.
with. Mhm.
Well, she sounds like she'd make an amazing pet for somebody.
She would, and she's available now. She's, as I said, up to date on all her shots.
Right?
Spayed, tested, ready to go.
Right.
And she is here at the shelter just waiting for somebody to come pick her out and take her home.
Okay. Sounds fantastic then, Trish. And I know that people can come and visit with Winnie and all the other cats and kittens available for adoption on Wednesdays from 11 to 1 and on Saturdays and Sundays from 11 to 3.
Yes, yep.
Sounds
Love
good.
to see them.
Okay.
All right,
Thanks,
for coming.
Trish. Thanks, Winnie.
If you're looking for some local entertainment this holiday weekend, you won't want to miss the kickoff of the free summer concert series in Holden Beach, Ocean Isle, and Charlotte. Concerts are on Friday, Sunday, and Monday. Pick up this week's Beacon for showtimes and more. If listening to live Americana and country rock music while enjoying dinner and a drink are your style, then you won't want to miss Blue Dogs. The Charleston-based group will be playing at 9 p.m. on Sunday, May 27th at Sharky's in Ocean Isle Beach. Bail Out will begin the night's entertainment at 6 p.m.
Keith White, a native of Charlotte and graphic designer for the Brunswick Beacon, has been selected as the winning artist for the 2012 official annual National Shrimp Festival poster. The annual event takes place in Gulf Shores, Alabama. The poster design contest is an annual tradition, and in past years, the winning design has been featured on the official poster sold at the festival, and other elements of the art are incorporated into other merchandise, including t-shirts, visors, and more. The 2012 41st Annual Shrimp Festival will be on the public beaches of Gulf Shores from October 11th through 14th. The festival is a project of the Alabama Gulf Coast Area Chamber of Commerce. Are you ready for some putt-putt? Now is the time of year to rent some colorful clubs and balls and get out and explore the intricate, windy novelty delights of area miniature golf courses with your family. From Calabash to the south to Holden Beach on the north end of the Brunswick Isles, there are several courses from which to choose. Check out the Tide section of this week's Beacon for details about where these courses are and what they have to offer for Memorial Day weekend family fun. Also in this week's Tide section is information about area bands performing and great local seafood. Don't forget to pick up the latest edition of Island Living for additional information about the area and the latest happenings.
The Turtle Man was in Charlotte on Monday. Randy Gallagher, who calls himself the Turtle Man, stopped at the Old Hardee's on Main Street to let others enjoy his pet tortoises. The tortoises range in age from 35 to 50 years old. The three Gallagher had on display for children to ride are sulcata tortoises from Africa. Gallagher is seen throughout the Carolinas with his turtles. He says the turtles enjoy the interaction as much as the families enjoy stopping to say hello. That's all the time we have for tonight, but you can read all these stories and much more in this week's Beacon. If you have comments or suggestions for us here at the Brunswick Beat, you can email us at brunswickbeat@brunswickbeacon.com. Don't forget to follow the Beacon on Facebook and Twitter. Just search for Brunswick Beacon.
Thank you for joining us, and don't forget to tune in next week for a brand new edition of the Brunswick Beat, Brunswick County's only television news show. We close out this week's show with images of the women of Seaside United Methodist Church in hats and other finery at their annual spring tea.